Hi everyone, hope you're all having a great day. This painting was done in Artstudio Pro using the colour brush, a really unique brush that allows you to put two colours on the brush and apply them to the canvas at the same time. This is the second painting I've done using this brush. Really does give you a very natural feeling looking painting. So let me show you how I did this one. So here we are in Artstudio Pro using the colour brush. This is a really unique brush where you can use two colours on a brush at the same time and apply those. When I started this painting, I didn't realise that. I was just going through the brushes in the wet brush category. I just love those brushes in this app. And I saw this one that was called Colour Brush. I gave it a try and I like the strokes. I love these sort of really organic looking brush strokes that you get with it. But I wasn't seeming to get the colour I wanted. I'd put a colour on and then I'd brush over it and it'd disappear and it'd go back to white. And I was thinking I was painting with, I was just lifting the colour off as fast as I was putting it on. And it was really frustrating for me, and at one point I felt that I might abandon the painting. I wasn't really feeling it at all. And then I clicked on the more options of the brush. It says more at the bottom right of the screen. And I noticed there was a colour selector in there which was set to white. So the default colour for the second colour of this brush is white. And that is what was happening. I was selecting a colour off the colour sliders, applying that, and then as I was painting it, it would apply the white, which was the second colour. And the way it works is you press on hard with the stylus, you get the colour that you've selected from the colour sliders. You press on very light and you get the colour that you select within the brush. So I mean, at this point, you can see I'm still struggling quite a lot because I've got this white as the second colour. But what I also liked about it was so organic. It looked like I was painting. The brush strokes looked real, like they'd been done with a brush. It didn't look digital. So I kept persevering with it. And in the end, like I say, I discovered that you could change this second colour. And I think that this is the point where I've discovered it. And I start to overpaint again now using these second colours. So this was a photograph that actually Special K took in our garden of some lilies that we'd grown. And I thought it'd make a nice subject. So again, like me, I kind of had the intentions of starting this off as it being a detailed painting, but very quickly I get into the mood that it's not going to be detailed. That's not me. I just get so impatient with things and I want it done straight away. So I slip into this sort of impressionist mood very quickly. And I was really happy with the finished painting. Not out what I intended at all when I started. I was going to go in and kind of look at all the shadows within these petals of each leaf and try and replicate them and blend them all down and have it really smooth and get it almost photographic. I guess the brush wouldn't allow that for a start. I should look for a different brush. I do go for a certain amount of detail, but not massive. The brush works really well, reduced down to size, really small or large. You can get these bigger strokes, although it can't go too big. I noticed. I mean, I'm working on a canvas of 20 inch by 16 or something like that, and the brush size maxed out at 30% was similar in size to what I work with when I'm using Art Rage, and you struggle with the size of the brushes. So you can't get a huge brush unless you're working on a small canvas, but I don't think it mattered because you've got these two colours and you want to sort of mix them together and blend them together. So I think with the brush, the features of the brush, it worked really, really well. And you can see here I've got sort of purples selected as one colour, and an orange is another, and you could put complementary colours in there. So you could have a green and a red, and then when they merge together you get sort of a grey colour as well. So very good for producing sort of impressionist style paintings. A really cool brush. I felt that as I'm working on this, it's looking a little bit flat, and I do need to use another layer of say multiply to add some shadows to this, which I do go into a bit later on. But right now I'm looking at that and it looks all very flat. Although as I've got kind of getting the colours right and everything, it's just looking a little bit flat. I'm tweaking the shapes of the flowers all the time. You'll see me actually do an outline to some of the petals and then soften the edges away and blend them away. Not something I do very often, putting outlines around anything, but I was getting a bit frustrated in some respects with how it was going. Lots of fun working with two colours, because once I discovered that, you're forever thinking, right, what colour shall I put with this one, what's going to go with that, and it makes you think about the colours that you're going to use much more so than when you just sort of select a colour off the slider and start thinking, right, I want a green, and you pick a green and you start painting. With this brush you're thinking, okay, that's the main colour I'm going to use, which one am I going to put underneath it? And I would recommend that the sort of main colour would be the one that you put on the brush when you select the more option and you choose the colour from there. And then the secondary colour, use the colour from the sliders, because it seemed to me that it was the colour that you choose from the brush which became the dominant colour as you're working. But that might just be my style, because I paint very light and I don't press on very hard. If you're somebody that presses on hard, you might think that it works better the other way, so you'll probably have to mess around with it to get the effect you want. But for me, it was definitely the colour from the brush that was the dominant colour. Once I discovered that this was a two colour brush, which there's a clue in the name really, isn't it? Colour brush. I should have probably guessed. It totally changed my experience with the painting. I'd gone from being frustrated and thinking of giving up to really enjoying it, and it was like a new lease of life with it, and really got into it, really enjoyed it. So I'm quite happy with how this is going now. I think I'm getting some decent colours. I could, in actual fact, finish it there. I think that is sort of a finished painting in itself. I don't think I necessarily need to go in with lots of shadows, but of course I do. I've got to. Here we go, and they're going in. But the beautiful thing about this is, because I do these shadows on a second layer, I can toggle it on or off, and it's not damaging the painting underneath that I've already created. And I am liking it, because I'm sort of using the multiply layer now to help me pick out an area of the painting and it become the focal point where your eye's drawn to, by putting sometimes a very subtle shadow over an area and just leaving the main focus much brighter. As you can see there, I've left that one lily on the top a lot brighter than all of the others. Look at those brush strokes when I zoom in. They are really painterly, if that's a word, but it's really cool. I really like that. So yeah, that's how I'm using multiply. I've got that signed, so I must be happy with that at this point. But I bet you I'm not. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just sort of adding a few more details. I didn't put the butterfly in. The reason being, it wasn't at a good angle. I thought I'd have to start going researching a decent butterfly to add into the painting. And I really wasn't up to, I didn't really feel like doing that. So I left the butterfly out. Just adding a few final details, and there we go. That's my lilies painted with the colour brush from Artstudio Pro. If you've enjoyed this video, a big thumbs up as always helps me out tremendously, much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because I have tons and tons and tons of videos all about digital painting. So hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye.